Hello everybody, welcome to Tpull's Corner. We've got another Stonebrain deck. I did one of these before. It was mono white, and I was going to make like maybe a black deck or a black-white deck, because I think discard would work for giving us more information on what cards to choose that they might have. But I got sidetracked by the idea of making copies of this, so let's see what we can do. Look at that! We made it into a 4/4 creature already. Sweet! They're setting up. This is what we need next. Mirror box. This way we can copy the Stonebrain and the legend rule won't apply. Yep, there goes our Stonebrain. Okay, fine. How about a hulking metamorph? In the meantime, we'll give this witness protection so it can't get any extra counters on it. And we're done. Unusual, not the way I expected to win. But let me go in and explain this deck. It can get a little complicated for this one. If you're new, subscribe. If you're new or old, consider clicking the like button. Alright, it's called Shared Brains because we have Blade of Shared Souls and we have Stonebrain. Stonebrain, you choose a card name, you exile it from your opponent's graveyard, hand, and library. They can have up to 4 cards, right? The problem is if you take this into Explorer and say you're going up against Legend of the Rings or Lord of the Rings, and you choose Nazgul, they can have up to 9 cards of that. So we can only take up to 4 cards, which kind of stinks. It should be any cards with that name and exile them, really. But up to 4 cards, so it's obviously not made for Historic, right? There are other cards that you can have in a Historic, like I think the Dragon's Touch card, you can have as many copies of that as you want. So we would not fare well against some matchups. But anyway, if the player has a card in their hand that matches that name, they get to draw another card to replace it. But it's a legendary artifact, so normally we can't copy it. So we've got 4 copies of Mirror Box, so we can copy it. What things can we do to copy it? We've got, where is it? Unctus's Retrofitter, right? We can turn it into an artifact creature, power and toughness 4/4. So it becomes a creature, and then we should be able to use Blade of Shared Souls to copy it when it's a creature. We've also got Errant Street Artist. We can copy target spells you control that wasn't cast. So if we copy something and we have enough energy, we can bring Errant out and spend 2 more mana and then copy that copy. Errant always seems to make things complicated when you're talking about copying the copies. But we have 2 copies of Jin-Gitaxias. Whenever you cast an artifact, you can copy that spell. So we could copy the Stonebrain as long as Mirror Box is out, and Errant could copy that copy, so we could get extra stuff out all in one turn. We've also got 4 copies of the Replication Specialist. Whenever a non-token artifact enters the battlefield, you can pay 2 mana. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that artifact. So again, we need Mirror Box, right? That's the key. That's why I have 4 copies. And once we get a Stonebrain, we have any of these others set up, we can start making copies and copies of copies. And Hulking Metamorph could actually copy the Stonebrain if that's out, as well as copying Mirror Box. We've got 1 Fading Hope to stall them, 3 Witness Protection to make their creatures lose their abilities. We've got 1 Surge Engine, which also Hulking Metamorph could copy. And this is kind of a monosync in case we end up with a lot of extra energy. This is where we put it. We've got Awakened Awareness, which we can use to beef up our creatures, or we could turn one of their big creatures into something with power and toughness 1/1. We could pay just the 2 blue mana and make X equals 0 and put the enchantment on their creature. Sort of nerf their creature. You just saw us use Unctus Retrofitter. It has Toxic, but we don't really care about the Toxic. We care about the stuff becoming a... We care about making Stonebrain into a creature so that we can have more chances to copy it. Case the Joint is a draw card spell, and we can look at the top of each player's library so we can see what's coming up. If we don't like what's coming up and we have 2 extra mana for a Stonebrain, we can get rid of the next card at the top of their deck. Invasion of Vern, that turns into Overloaded Mage Ring, which we can copy target spell. So more copies. Mirehall Mimic copies any creature on the battlefield. So that could be a copy of Hulking Metamorph, or Surge Engine, or Replication Specialist, so we can make even more copies of this stuff later. Or if Stonebrain happens to be an artifact creature due to Unctus's Retrofitter, we could copy Stonebrain again. Out of the way, another stall tactic, return target non-permanent to its owner's hand, and we draw a card so it replaces itself. And that's kind of why I have 62 cards, because I've got this card replaces itself, and you know, we've got Invasion as a draw card spell, we've got Case the Joint as a draw card option, and Memory Deluge, which we can get some extra cards. We also have 1 copy of Sea Devil. This spell can't be copied, but you can either copy another target spell or create a token that's a copy of target creature. And we have the other Jin-Gitaxias, Legendary Phyrexian Praetor, 5/5 with Ward 2. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, you draw a card. And we can turn it into the Enchantment Saga, the Great Synthesis, and really have some fun with that. And I think that's pretty much it. We do have 1 Mycosynth Garden, so if Mirror Box is out, we could copy the Stonebrain with this card as well. And we have 4 Surgical Bays, which allow us for more draw card later if the game lasts long. And 2 Ottawars so that we could maybe just blink one of their creatures out and throw it back up into their hand. It needs a little bit of setup usually. That green-white deck we played seemed a little slow. They set up a couple of things, but they couldn't react in time to us. I'm usually in the opposite side of the situation from that. Usually, the swarm decks get to take us out pretty fast. Okay, I think that's okay to start us off. We do have an expensive card, but that's usually what Arena does to us anyway. And this is a deck where you don't mind getting flooded out with lands, because you do need 7 at least. And we're up against red-green, so I like having the witness protections handy right from the start. We can just do this to them, and that way they can't pump them up to make it 3 each time. It'll stay a 1/1. That'll give us a little bit of time. Flash in our defender. Let's see. That one also, I guess we could go ahead and just do this to it. This doesn't have flash. I'm wondering if I should put this on the Street Artist and just make it a blocker. It might not be a bad idea. Hoppack Piper. That's a disgusting card. They're tapped out, so it doesn't matter for us to block 1. Okay, 3/6. So let's go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and pump up Errant Street Artist. Make it 5/5. Now, Avabrook Caretaker is basically the win condition. This is their perfect start, and I don't know that we have a way to scale past them now. This is what I would have targeted Stonebrain with. I don't really have a board wipe or anything. I think we're dead. There's just no getting around that. They've already got more power than anything we can get. Still not enough to fully cast this to get the 7/7. And now they've got another way to pump things up. And all they need to do is hang back with their Huntmaster and pump up everything else. Look at that. Already, even though I have 10-10 here with the double block, they've already outscaled me. It's disgusting. And they're not even bothering to attack. 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, we can go ahead and bring this out, but it's not like we want to copy anything. We can bring out the Stonebrain. What do you get rid of with the Stonebrain? Because nothing matters anymore. I mean, do you have extras of that in here? In case we got rid of one, we can get rid of the other. They're just playing with their food. I don't have a way to bounce Avabrook. I can't target her. And they can make it night with Unnatural Moonrise already. They can destroy an artifact or an enchantment. They've got so much stuff here already they can use against us. And we're just completely empty. It shouldn't take them this long to figure things out either. They really should have just used Unnatural Moonrise. Ah. Never mind, I forgot. We have Jinga Taxis out. I'm not used to that either. They didn't have enough energy to cast them both. They would have needed one more land out. Okay, so Jinga Taxi saves us a tiny bit from some of this stuff. But we really need at least like a Fading Hope during daytime to bounce off the people, the creatures that they bounce. Yeah, that's not enough. And it's still not, I still don't have enough land for everything either. And nothing really good to copy. So now I'm reduced to just drawing to see what I can get. This is kind of depressing. Everything's kind of going to come in out of order now. They could just throw out the Hex Gold if they wanted to and let that get counter first and then destroy something with Broken Wings. Maybe they just want to get rid of Awakened Awareness. They're just going to go wide. And they can really afford to wait as long as they want, right? I don't think I have a global effect that's going to take care of a hexproof creature in this deck. go after everybody now. Alright, we can finally take care of that, right? 3, 6, 9, 12. Let's take out the cemetery provider. We're still fairly dead. I mean, I could have chump blocked that with 1 and stopped another 6, 10 points of damage. It just doesn't matter. They're taking way too long to figure things out. You have lethal. I gave you lethal. I'm not waiting around. There was no way I was going to draw enough stuff there. Teasing about Averbrook Caretaker when you don't have board wipe? Yeah. That's pretty much death. And blue doesn't really have board wipes, do they? Yeah, Averbrook Caretaker is one of your first targets with Stonebrain. But we didn't get the card we wanted for our deck. They got their perfect setup for their early bomb. Arena didn't give us our star card. Even though it is a measly little 2-drop, it should be common and showing up early. The only good thing about Surge Engine is, even though it is vulnerable to cut down, it's not vulnerable to the other cheap black removal spell. Oh, never mind. They're just going to get rid of it now, probably. Is it really that hard of a choice? I guess it's that hard of a choice. I mean, if they already have a way to get rid of Surge Engine, they won't mind. They'd get rid of Replication Specialist. But if they can't get rid of Surge Engine next round, that's the best choice to get rid of to stall me. Instead, they're thinking... Did they get rid of Mirehall Mimic? Okay. There we go, okay. It's gonna be one of those days, is it? Don't want to play the retrofitter here. It's the wrong order. I need an artifact. Really need... I've got, 4 mirror boxes and 4 stone brains. And only 1 copy of Unctus Retrofitter in the entire deck. I've got 4 other artifact creatures. So that's like opportunity for at least 12 other things at the very least. This would have been 13, but they got rid of that. Plus, this already can turn into an artifact creature, so I don't really count that. We got 3 of the Blade of Shared Souls, so that's 15 other things that I could have had. We're kind of stuck. Nice, fairly cheap creatures. I kind of need them not to have removal in order for me to have a chance. Okay, you had your turn. May I have a turn, please? Thank you. Alright, we keep this on the board. We just make it a flying 1/1. That way we don't have to worry about the proliferation bringing it back all the time. We don't have to worry about poison counters. We just have to worry about being roped for the entire time. Okay, I think we're done there. Are they even sitting down playing? Of course, because they hit the record button, so why bother paying attention to the game in front of you? Looks like they're just sitting on a bunch of removal spells. Alright, we can afford to play a card at least. Yep, they figured out a way to get rid of that so they could bring that back later. And they still have an issue there. Okay. I don't think we have the right mix of things to fix everything here. I mean, I can do this. No. Nope, this is all set up for the other stuff. I just got everything out of order. Okay. There's nothing left that can help save us there. It is a complicated deck. It requires a little bit of setup. I was originally trying to do a blue-green deck. There's a bit of Thomas's trickery to additionally make Stonebrain into a creature, but that was a little too cumbersome. Marina just would never give me the time to set it up. For some reason, when I added in green, they put me up against really fast werewolf decks the entire day. Let's see, we're going up against a poison deck. Combination. Green and white. Okay. We don't need to choose a copy for anything here. We don't want to copy a 0-3. Well, I think we blocked that. I'm not sure why they did that. Okay, yeah, let's do that. I mean, we can copy you. We still get a 3/3 out of it. Yep. Let's see. We'll just block you, get rid of you now. Put our mirror box down. And let's go ahead and get rid of stuff. What do we think they have? Do you have a Tyrannex Rex? They have an Atrocity. Figures. I was close, but no cigar. So they do have a Venerated Rot Priest. They've got 4 Slaughter Singers. And Annex Sentries, probably. Ah! I was so close. The Atrocity is what they have. That's gonna hurt. It's got haste too, doesn't it? I guess I was going after too big a creature. I should have gone after the Atrocity, I guess. Alright, let's see if Memory Deluge gets us anything good. Not the greatest. I guess we're taking both of those. We're going to have to take another hit. Oh, brother. What do we got here? Deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. We don't have a choice. They get to destroy whichever one they want to. Ah! Exactly everything they needed to empty their hand. So maybe if I'd called out the Atrocity with the shared brain. So these are the type of things I should be thinking about. I was so used to people playing green-white. I have died a lot to Tyrannex Rex. So I think I'm sort of triggered to go look for the biggest, baddest threat I can think of. So this deck has a learning curve, and even though I'm the one that created it, I still have a learning curve that I have to learn. It helps to have like Scry Fallout or something, so you can get a look at cards and get an idea for card names if you don't have all of them memorized. Like, for example, there's multiple cards named Atraxa, right? So you got to remember the current one that's a threat is Atraxa Grand Unifier. We're up against the Shady Salesman, so I'm assuming Haughty Djinn deck. Which means usually they have Fading Hopes, which is trouble against our Surge Engine. Oh, no, maybe they're doing something different. Maybe we've got something of a mirror match going on. They can't block us. Let's look at this. Return artifact you control to owner's hand and copy artifact spell. Okay, I'm not going to use Witness Protection yet. Circuit Mender, I think I'd rather use it on Circuit Mender. Because now it's not an artifact creature, it can't be returned, it's just a citizen. It's a good idea to copy Surge Engine. I do like the combination of Draft Knot and the original Circuit Mender, because you could keep gaining life, right, if you just bounce it up and back all the time. They need some kind of possession spell or bounce spell to get rid of Surge Engine. Question is, do I duplicate Mirror Box down here first, or do I go ahead and bump this up to a 5/4? Alright, they're going to try and dig for something good. If they get rid of an artifact, they get a Power Stone token. They get rid of Skittering Surveyor. Yeah, you probably don't need a whole lot more land right this second. Okay, Atrax's Skitterfang comes out. Are you going to use it? What are you going to give that person? Death Touch. Yeah, come on through and hit me for 1 point. That was a waste. Okay. I think we do Mirror Box because we can copy it with the Replication Specialist. And now this is already a 5/4. Can I go ahead and use this too? Bam, bam, bam. I think we got him. They can't handle all three of those right now, can they? If they had a spell that returned everything to our hand, yeah, Dominance of Force is not going to do it. What are you going to do? Bring the Surveyor back? Dig some more. Except you're out of energy now. You can do a little bit of lifelink. Yep. Okay. It's good that our deck can win in other ways. That is a sign of a good diverse deck. But I wanted to showcase more of the Stone Brain if I could. We'll do one more. We'll see if we can get it going. We need a little bit of time so that we can get Stone Brain out and then still be able to copy it. So ideally, if you get one copy of Mirror Box up front that doesn't get removed, that's really what you want. Okay. So as long as we make our land drop... Every time I say that, I feel like I'm jinxing myself. The spies at Wizards are going to just manipulate my deck. We'll go ahead and put out the Stone Brain now. They could have removal easily with the color white. Put out... Yeah, let's put out the Mirror Box. Yep, they got stuff. They got stuff. Well, missed a land drop. We can get rid of more of these if they have them. But I'm actually worried about Mondrak. Just the one copy. Yeah, that may not be enough to help me. You've got 4 counters. Legitimate witness protection does not work when you've already got things with counters on them. That would still be a 4/4. It'd be a 1/1 legitimate business person, but it would have 4 counters. So we could get rid of Invasion of New Capenna or Bloated Processor. And this is the problem with this type of deck. It's similar to the stuff that is not of benefit to you for discard decks and mill decks. I can get rid of strip stuff out of their deck all that I want, but I do need something on the board presence here to help me out, and I'm not getting it. Getting all of that stuff up front. Incubate decks are just too fast. And what I might do is, just to demonstrate the deck, we might have to go to Sparky just to be in a situation where we have enough time where I can show off the full glory of what we can accomplish. There does need to be a little bit of luck with the draw. Usually if I get Surge Engine out and they can't get rid of it, we win too quickly. And if I don't, then we lose too quickly. I guess they don't care if that's not there. Okay, Mirror Box, come on down. They don't want to make the trade. What else do we think that they have in there? It's probably better just to hit these guys with this. They kind of flooded me out with 8 lands and only 3 spells. That's a little bit obscene. Okay, we'll go ahead and put this down now. Let's go ahead, I guess we'll just go ahead and get rid of any other siege veteran out there, since we know that that's a good choice. They've got a farewell and a borrowed time. Those are all problems. They only have one siege in the entire deck? You're kidding me. I'm not sure what's the best thing to get rid of there anyway. All we can do is attack, and then they're going to remove the Surge Engine. So really that means I should have brought down Mycosynth Gardens and copied it. Okay, Magic, you gave me 9 lands. I do need something besides land now at this point. I haven't been this flooded in forever. Okay, so we'll make that a 1/1, so at least we stop that for a tiny bit. We need to draw more stuff. Another Witness Protection. Does not help me against that. I need a bounce. Or a good creature. It just so happens, you know, Arena's kind of changed things. It used to be they didn't know how to deal with Witness Protection. Now they do. Now they keep giving me... Are you serious? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You gave me 10 lands and 5 spells. Seriously. They do not want me to win. See, we can show you real quick. We make that a 1/1. You see, it still has all the counters, so it just doesn't do anything. It's just useless. So we lose. I don't think I've ever been that flooded out. Well, I haven't ranked, but I'm not playing ranked because I'm used to that. I have gotten this flooded out, you know, 9 or 10 times in ranked over the past year. But 10 lands to 5 spells? This kind of happened with my Stronghold deck too, is they matched me up against the winningest decks and they'd land starve me or they'd land flood me. We're building stuff that the current meta is not involved in, and when we do that, Arena tends to get vicious with me, and they really make sure... I mean, I used to be able to at least be able to demonstrate the deck once or twice, and now the machine is just not giving me the chance. They're just smashing me. And it took a while. It took Arena a while. They didn't used to match me up against the counter decks, but now because I have 3 copies of Witness Protection, this was to deal with stuff like Phyrexian Obliterator, Shieldred, that kind of thing. And now I'm not facing any of those. Now I'm just facing creatures that add counters, and Witness Protection is completely useless against counter creatures. And that's all we saw today. So I don't know what to tell you. This is a complicated deck. It requires a lot of concentration to figure out exactly the right spell to steal. You can see that I'm kind of guessing in this kind of version, but the whole point really is to get out copies of Stonebrain and copy it so there's so many, so that you'll have so many guesses, so it won't matter. You just exile your entire deck out from under them. But you know, we do need the deck to pop off in a certain order before that can happen. And we're not getting that many creatures up front. I do have 16 creatures, which is about normal for what I do. But you notice it didn't give me either of the Ottawaras. We never got the Fading Hope at all. And for a 1-drop, for us to not be getting the Fading Hope, and it just keeps giving me the one card that just so happens doesn't match up well against any of the decks we faced today, is kind of suspect. But that's just my normal conspiracy thinking done. Anyway, let me know what you think, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.